So figure 1. Let's play with the axes a little bit. So set GCA. Okay, so set GCA, both they always come together. GCA just means get current axis, and it's the manager of the axis. Why I said this? So what's the role of a manager? The manager, you have to ask for permission in order to change anything. You have to ask the manager first. Okay, and he will allow or give you the permission to change some stuff. So get current access is the access manager. So right now I get the manager and I'm gonna ask him to change some stuff about the access. So we can't change anything now about the access because we do have the manager. I'm just saying this in order for you guys to remember like easily. So I have the current access, so right now I can maybe like change the font size to be like, for example, 20. And yeah, here's the axis means like x-axis and y-axis. And post now the font is increasing, so the font is 20. Okay, what if I wanna make something like y direction and then reverse? Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so when I did y direction and then reverse, y-axis supposed to be ascending order, right? So it's supposed to be increasing from like the least and then increasing more ascending, but now it's descending order. So this also a tool you can use for the axis to reverse it, and you don't know what you might represent. Like I know this not the regular or normal thing, but sometimes if you are representing like weather or maybe finance or anything, it's very powerful tool to have. So and yeah, this is not the normal. So like if we remove this and return back again, we're gonna see it's from 1 0.8. If we return the reverse, oh, this is weird. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so right now it's ascending order 0 0.2 0.4 0.6, okay, to 1, but if we return back it's gonna be descending 1 0.8 0.6 0.4. So it's really like helpful to use and helpful to know as well. So now we reverse all the y-axis. So let's discover new more stuff about axes. So we introduced this concept before, so instead of just put a bracket, I can put these 3 dots, and now MATLAB expect me that I'm gonna continue but on the other line. So let's try something like maybe box on. Okay, so box on is basically the borders and the edges of your plot. So he gave me borders on the top and on the right, not just x and y axis. And if we here press off, I'm gonna just be use x and y axis. So we want it to be on. This is important for formality when you are representing maybe in front of professor or something like that. This small stuff really matters. Okay. Okay, let's try different thing like something like tech dir, which is direction, same like here y dir is direction, y direction when reverse become descending or ascending, same thing, but tech is just simply What is tech? Tech is this small thing. So out or in. Out will be outwards your plot, in will be like towards your plot. So if we tried right now to be in, the tech direction will be inside your data, not outside. So far so good. Okay, same concept, three dots. And why I write three dots? Because like how organized it would be for your code. Like we can see all of them is under each other, so actually you can relate, or it can be like more representable. Let's try now tech length. So we know what's tech, right? Tech length. So how big or small is your tech? So if we write something like 0.01, 0.01, and now let's close the bracket. Yeah, this is not obvious, but let's make it like 0.05. Here we go. So we can see like how the tech now is increasing. Those two numbers is basically the length and the width of your tech. Let's make this out. So here we go. So why you might use it? You might use it if you wanna like emphasize on your axis. Like you can see here, like it's really toward 0.8, toward 0.6, 0.4, same. So it really like has a different usages depend on what you're gonna represent and where or why you are using or coding for the MATLAB. But of course, it's very powerful action or powerful tool to use. Okay, so let's now put hold on here. And hold on, we explained this in previous episode. It just means that I wanted two plots to be in the same figure. So that's why it's holding on. So hold on. Like when I do write hold on, MATLAB expect me that I'm gonna have two different plots because two different plots but will be on the same figure or be plotted with each other. So right now, let's create our plots. So plot x and y axis. So let's make the x is salinity, y make it depth. But we need to stop here because we make the y values got reversed. So we also need to change the y value or to reverse the y values. So let's put here minus sign. Okay. We explain the line style and the colors, but I can just do something like negative k. The negative sign is my line style, k is my color, so this will be black and it will be solid line and something like line width to be 2. So if I press run, we can see it got reversed. It descending order from 0 to -30 as I did in the axis, and the depth is reversed. So what if I remove the minus sign? I'm gonna see it completely different shape because like it just start from 0 going from there. So that's why it's very important to, if you reverse the axis, to reverse your values as well. Yeah, so yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is the first plot. We write hold on, right? That's why we need another plot to be plotted or represented in the same figure. Same thing, negative depth. But we wanna O, J. Okay, so O, we explained this before, but O is the CEO. CEO, any CEO has employers. So O is one of the simple markers. So the simple markers it allows me now like to use, instead of font size, I have to use marker size or marker face color, marker edge color, because I have a CEO, so the CEO will bring his employers. So the marker size, if I make it now 10, okay, so the size of the circle will be 10. So right now I have I have the circles, and all the circles are in green. But I don't like green. Let's make it blue, and let's change this to maybe 5. So it decreased more. So when I do have the CEO, I do have employers that all will serve this CEO. Okay, so right now I have two plots. The first plot is the solid lines that do represent my data. The second plot is all the circle, and this represents the collection point. So let's say I have a data and I have a tool that do record some like measurement from my data. So all those circles, the blue circle might be represented the collection points. So if I have all this line, so during the blue circle is the points or the positions that I my tool got recorded the specific salinity or maybe like pressure from my data. So that's why hold on is important. Plotting two plots together in one figure is super important and depend on different purpose and depend on your professions that you need MATLAB for. Okay, let's now represent like legend. Maybe salinity versus depth line. I'm pretty sure you guys are pretty now familiar with legends, that's why I don't have to stop. Or that's why I might be a little bit faster. Collection points. So I do have the legend, but it cuts my data. So I can do two things in order to fix this. So I can change the location. So I can option location, and you're gonna be north, south, east, west, or best. So best is like the best location in MATLAB perspective. So the MATLAB gonna choose the location for you. Okay. If I press run, okay, MATLAB doesn't change the location, but it still cut my data. So what else I can do? We can realize that the font is very big, right? So if I change the font size, the square will get smaller. So instead of the location, if I make like font size and maybe change it to something like 10, here we go. Now I have the legend, doesn't cut my data, and in a good position that I can see both my data and the two plots that I did represented in figure 1 and also my legend. And we can see the blue circle is the collection point, but the solid line is just salinity versus depth line. So far so good. So now we have learned how we can extract data from any file I do have, how I can extract single columns from a table that I do have. We learned about our axis manager and how I can change several things about the axis, x-axis and y-axis, and of course we explained hold on before, but we didn't explain how I can extract the data from the table and make all of this from the data just that got extracted from my table. So far so good, so let's move on.